IBM's brand new ThinkPad T41 right here. Normally we don't get all excited about a notebook rev, but this is the notebook that made Kevin Rose cry with joy. Now we should point out there's a reason this. See, Kevin's holding the previous model.
Yeah, this is the T40P. And I've had some problems with it. I've actually busted, that's half of what I've broken. I've broken 4 hard drives on it so far.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4.
With 4.
4 dead hard drives.
Yes.
Dead.
Yes.
Paperweights.
Completely paperweights.
Useless.
Useless.
That gets expensive.
Very expensive, considering my last hard drive cost me $159.95. So I don't know if I'm hopping too many fences with them or what the deal is, but
we should point out we've had like Andrew Hahn carried one for months, has never had a problem. Right. You know, it's interesting. You're nuking them, or for some reason that particular notebook is nuking hard drives.
Yeah, I have no idea. One thing that I do with mine is when I get a laptop fresh from the manufacturer, I completely reformat the operating system and start from scratch. So I'm thinking maybe there's some disk diagnostic tools on there that I'm deleting that they should be on there to be checking the hard drive on a regular basis. I don't know what the deal is, but this one actually has some really cool features.
This is interesting. What IBM did is they decided to put what they call the hard drive active protection system in there. And what that means is basically they have an accelerometer inside on the motherboard, and it detects the motion of the notebook. Now, if we go back to the big board behind us, or we zoom in really tight on there, you'll see there's like a little, great big logo of there. Actually, you know what? Let's just go to the scan behind us. It's much easier to see. And as we tip the notebook, it tips in real time, although it's locked up. And what will happen is when it shakes enough, it'll actually lock up the hard drive.
That's crazy.
It parks the head on the side of the drive. It's an interesting concept. You actually came up with a good test for it. We're actually running a defrag in the background.
Right.
And if we search in really tightly here, as we start to shake the notebook, you'll see the hard drive get paused.
Yeah, it pauses it.
And it'll keep going. Now, a lot of people spend a lot of time, I don't know if you can see it, it's really hard to see right there. And if I stop moving my hand, it'll actually start going again.
So now you can see it's flashing right now. That means it's reading from the disk. Now shake it a tiny bit and watch what happens. Now the hard drive light is going to turn off.
What's interesting is now it won't turn off.
There we
did break it. That's definitely
Don't
off.
break it. Don't break it, Pat.
The interesting idea, though, is that if there's motion, and it's some interesting settings in there, one of the ones we especially like is temporarily ignore frequent repetitive shocks such as those experienced within a train or automobile. The idea there being that if you're sitting in a car, you know, and your notebook sort of bounces along, then it'll just accept that, because you know what, when it shut down the hard drive, there's a lot of stuff you can't actually do on the notebook. Interesting idea. Don't know how it impacts the price, including with all the new T41s. The truth is, long term, we probably have no good way to determine whether or not it works, other than to see, maybe hand it to you and see if you can keep it running for 3 or 4 months.
Now, does it have anything like, is it like an airbag to where if you were to drop your laptop off of the desk, is it going to detect that?
Well, the idea is what will happen is as it detects motion, right, it's going to go, wow, I'm not supposed to be zooming. You know what I mean? It'll basically detect that it's accelerated, and it's supposed to automatically park the head somewhere safe on the hard drive. Is that going to keep it from disintegrating, say, if you drop it off a 4-story building? No.
Yeah.
Might it protect the data on your hard drive if it's bouncing off of the couch and onto the floor? Possibly. The idea is not, it's not a bad idea.
Right.
You know, time will only tell if it actually works in the field.
So we just got this in. I guess you're going to play with it for a few more weeks, and we'll see if anything happens with it.
Everything in parts. Maybe I should let you play with it for a few weeks and see if anything happens.
I've had some problems, but
interesting idea. Wait to see what happens with the T41 over the long term. We'll let you know.